Guys, so today I wanted to talk about an issue that we are currently having at work at our library, and it has to do with a survey that they sent out to everyone via email. And the survey was actually a great idea, and I was excited about it because it was asking anonymously what we thought about the culture of our library, questions about things that how do we feel could be improved, what on a scale of 1 to 5, how do we feel about how well we communicate within our library, within the different departments as a library as opposed to communicating with the public. So my talk today is going to just be briefly about an in-house situation that we're having, and it does relate to education because there's a lot of things that were asked that I think need to be improved. And the difficulty was trying to figure out how to be really honest, because we finally had a chance to kind of speak and be heard without hurting feelings and naming names. I do work at a branch of a big library, so it's really obvious the way we answer the questions that we are at a branch and not just at the main, because we feel, a lot of us, that there's a lot of, I don't know how to really put it any other way than feelings like we're kind of the ugly stepchild as far as the finances go, and our needs are not generally met. They're not a first priority, and some of that is due to just funding issues, and that there were things on the books that needed to be taken care of at our main library first. They were already budgeted years ago, and some of it I also believe is lack of supervisory support. And I don't know if any of you have had problems with that, where our supervisor is great. He's an amazing guy. He's wonderful and kind and compassionate, great at resources and coming up with reference answers and supervisory commentary if we have questions about specific rules. However, we don't feel like we're really supported as a staff when it comes to our needs being heard and moved up the pipeline. So with this survey, a lot of us discussed it, and they did send out a secondary email asking us to please be honest. It will be anonymous, and there will be more forthcoming in the next couple of months. So a lot of us did choose to be very honest and blunt about the way we were feeling and how we tend to get overlooked a little bit in the grand scheme of things. Because we are such a big library, it does have a big budget, and the most of the focus is on improving the main, and then it's trickled down to the branches. And so I was just wondering if any of you have had that situation where you feel like you're not really being heard by your supervisor, you're not getting the feedback that you need. There's a lot of times we have programs that maybe we don't hear about right away because our supervisor goes to meetings and then forgets to tell us about what was discussed, and it can be very frustrating. And we want to do our best job that we can for the patrons and for each other. We have a really good support staff. We work really well together, but there is definitely room for improvement. So the thing that I was just concerned and wondering about is, how can you be very honest without pointing fingers? And I did my best to do that and to point out all of the good things that we have going on, and how overall the culture of our library as far as communication is really good. However, in our particular situation, it's maybe not so great and needs improvement. So education-wise, we could definitely use more. Because we're a branch, we really do everything. We don't just do one job. We do all the jobs as the circulation staff. My particular position, I do more than that, and then I fill in as a circulation staff. So I'm in a little bit of a different category, and it will not surprise me if it will be very obvious who submitted the answers when they read mine, because because I touched on a lot of things that I've been learning in my classes in the MLIS program about, as a supervisor, how to deal with conflict, within the staff, with patrons, how to work with budgeting, how to have good leadership, what good leadership looks like and what it doesn't look like. And so that was my just discussion today of an experience I had this week where we were all filling out this survey, and some people were kind of nervous and afraid, to be honest. And I felt like it was a really good opportunity to finally be heard and have our concerns, moved up the pipeline. And I'm just going to kind of sit back and wait and see what happens. So that's just what I wanted to just share about today and see if any of you have had those similar experiences where you work.